We are getting ready to travel again, but we are not doing our traditional RV travel. We are taking 3 planes over to Italy to spend 10 days in Tuscany with the rest of my family, all 13 of us, and we're going to be doing day trips to see a bunch of little towns and a few bigger ones. And I'm just deep in the middle of packing right now, so here we go. Hi, Daisy. Italy! Here we go.
Go, go. That's like the biggest plane I've ever took.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's like 9 hours.
Yeah, 9-hour flight overnight. Benadryl.
Meanwhile, our family from Ohio were making their way towards Tuscany. Dominic and Alex were taking a few days in Prague and Venice before meeting up with us.
We're almost to Amsterdam now. Nico is eating a Nutella sandwich for breakfast, which I know he is enjoying very much.
All the European and Italian airports use buses to take you to your plane.
So we landed at noon in Florence and had some time to kill. So we were at this little vineyard with a nonna who's feeding us amazing food all afternoon.
Anana decided to invite us to her house to taste wine and taste their delicious food, and they also make the wine from their own grapes.
We have arrived. We have chefs cooking for us while we are eating dinner out on this terrace.
We're in the city of Otero today.
Lucca suggested that this was a scene where in an action film people would be jumping down off the roof to escape,
I don't know, if people can jump
which I think is accurate. We're just having some lunch at a little adorable restaurant here. We left our restaurant to take a walk and look at the view out here. And then Nico was like, hurry, you have to come look, you have to come look.
So do we figure out how old? I think we gotta go right.
Bam.
Signs.
Found some
I'm guessing.
ancient ruins. We're gonna go figure out what's going on down there.
All right, so apparently this is a multi-purpose area, and it was built by the Romans. They call it the Roman Theater, but it was actually not just a theater. You can see, like in this front area here, there's some seating on the one side, and then the theater, the stage area was up front here. But then behind it, there's also an area which was like a bathing and exercise area. And some of the ruins that you see are were apparently furnaces to get hot water. And this was also like a gymnasium or exercise area too. So they would exercise and then hit the showers. San Gimignano is surprisingly hard to pronounce, so we ended up giving it a few nicknames, starting with San Gimignano, then San Jimmy John's, and finally Saint Jimmy John's, who we determined was the patron saint of submarine sandwiches.
According to the legend, this town was started by a man escaping Rome who was charged with conspiracy in 63 BC. The town is known for its tall towers. The tall towers were not built for function, but rather to show power and wealth. Only the richest families could afford their construction. Today, 13 of the original 72 towers remain. The town is also known for its world champion gelato at Gelateria Dondoli, located at the Piazza della Sistina, or the plaza with the well. So of course we had to check that out.
Who is excited for some gelato?
Dude, he's whacking me!
I know, that crazy.
Yes, his baby's like this. Okay, I'm too scared.
Come in for a little afternoon cafe. You just stand at the bar and drink your espresso right here.
Me and Mom decided to go down to the grape field because we were allowed to. Come look at the grape buds.
All right, let's see. Oh my goodness. So those are gonna turn into grapes.
Yeah.
This is a true backcountry Italy here. Down a dirt road.
Bro, bikers!
This is the best
There's
part
someone
of this road.
biking up ahead of us.
This is the smoothest part of the road, just so you know.
Oh no.
Navigating Italy's roadways ended up being a lot more challenging than we thought, but it was mostly due to some inaccuracies on Google Maps. After several missed exits, some frustrating U-turns, and accidentally unpaid tolls, we eventually made it to Lucca.
The Romans founded Lucca over 2,000 years ago in 180 BC. In its history, Lucca has built 3 sets of walls, which were built as defenses. Unlike most other Italian towns, Lucca still preserves its wall, And in the 1800s, it was converted into a green space and a walkway on request of Napoleon's sister, which was a very innovative concept at the time. Personally, Lucca was one of my favorite Italian towns we visited. It had more varied architecture and colors, and there were trees in the town square, which gave it a really nice vibe.
This is how the
It's just like a piece of bark right here.
how the Italians fill in the center of a tree. They just brick it. Brick and mortar.
Yeah, just a little brick and cement. You're good.
Yeah, it'll stabilize it. Enzo's first breath.
I took a sip.
He's like, how much can I fit in my mouth at one time? That piece is bigger. Can I get that piece in? Oh, do you want some, Luke?
He's like, God.
How do you feel about your wall, Luca?
It's a pretty
That's
great
pretty
wall.
great.
It's a great wall. What do you think about your town,
It's the
Luca?
best walls.
Hey, no illegals are getting through this wall.
So we're walking on the wall. We have the historic city to the left, and then to the right of the wall is outside the city of Lucca.
I see it! I see it!
There it
It's
is.
way shorter. Tower of Pisa started construction in the 1100s as a bell tower to the Pisa Cathedral. Unfortunately, after only building 3 floors, the tower began to lean due to the soft soil foundation. At this point, they stopped construction for about 100 years, and eventually the building efforts continued, trying to build up the leaning side taller. It was finished in the 1300s and used to alert the townspeople of different messages with its 7 different bells. In 1990, it was closed due to safety concerns and eventually reopened in 2001. Another interesting fact is that the tower has been able to survive 4 different earthquakes without falling over, despite the fact that the tower is already leaning.
After leaving Pisa, we headed to a small town for dinner, and the drive there was beautiful through the countryside, but all the roads were so narrow and somehow two-way.
This was the maximum you can get. I like the crazy.
Florence is known as the birthplace of the Renaissance period, lasting from 1490 through the 16th century. The Medici family founded Florence, started the banking system, and it funded much of the Renaissance artists' work. We learn that this bridge, the Ponte Vecchio, leading to the heart of Florence, started out as a place where the butchers of the town would work and toss their remains into the river. However, the Medici family built a second home outside the city limits and could not be seen walking the streets with commoners. So they built a second floor to the bridge, relocated the butchers to avoid bad smells, and replaced them with fine jewelers, who still remain to this day. We started our day at a cafe in the central square called the Piazza della Signoria, where it uses its ranged-over history from thermal baths to social gatherings, an art center, and political and economic business.
Doing, buddy? What do we got here?
The Duomo of Florence boasts the largest brick dome in the world. The building itself was started in 1296 before they even had the capacity to build a dome as large as would be needed to cover the building. It ended up sitting open for over 100 years before the architecture and engineering was able to be completed.
Because it happens in the 1600s because of a storm, a thunder took that one and it fell, and it was completely destroyed for many years.
It's hard.
That was close, man. I didn't think you did that good.
Pretty good.
That was not.
We learned that it was a common theme in this era to have Mary Magdalene at Jesus' feet, and often the bones of Adam were placed under the crucifix and made very small to signify the lack of importance of humanity in relation to Christ.
Santa Croce is the largest Franciscan church in the world. It was built in the late 1200s and serves as a burial place for many wealthy and famous people, including Michelangelo and Galileo. Even though he had run afoul of the Catholic Church, they allowed him to be buried here because he renounced his findings as false.
Can you see the dome?
Yeah.
Like he's just walking around. That's not the point. It looks like he's doing that. No, don't worry, it's his sister. He's like, that's not.